Most engines never reach 100,000 miles, but mine cruised past 700,000. That's just the beginning. We're revealing 17 dealer-dodged habits that turned a ticking time bomb into a marathon runner. Stay until the end to unlock the 1-second trick that will save you $5,000. Which single habit do you think adds 100,000 miles? Comment now, your guess might surprise you. Tip number 1. Stick to the 3K oil rule. You think the dealer's 1 5K mile oil intervals are saving you money? Think again, those schedules are designed to expire your warranty, not your engine. In shop teardowns, we found pistons glazed in baked on sludge and clogged oil galleries screaming for fresh lubrication. But that's not all. Real-world driving with stop-and-go traffic and cold starts shreds your oil long before 7,500 miles. $40 now versus $4,000 later. Smart move. To protect every bearing and bearing surface, change conventional oil every 3,000 miles or switch to full synthetic and stretch to 5,000 to 7,000 miles. Actionable takeaway. Treat oil changes as engine life insurance. Short intervals pay dividends in longevity. Tip number 2. Drive slowly, don't idle. You've been told that a lengthy warm-up idle preserves your engine, but that steady burn is fuel washing your cylinder walls, stripping protective oil film, and thinning lubrication into worthless sludge. After just 30 seconds, unburned gasoline starts eroding metal surfaces and contaminating oil. It gets worse when that cold oil circulates at low temperatures, starving bearings of proper viscosity. Warm up on the move instead of a 5-minute driveway idle. Fire the engine, wait 30 seconds, and gently drive to miles. Oil temperature climbs 8 times faster and internal parts receive real protection. Actionable takeaway. Embrace a rolling warm-up to safeguard your engine from day 1. Tip number 3. Stop when the pump clicks. That extra squeeze after the first click floods your evap system with raw gasoline, soaking charcoal canisters and clogging vapor lines with liquid fuel. I've replaced canisters costing up to $900, all because drivers chased a few extra cents of gas. But listen to this, overfilled tanks can pour fuel through vent lines, fouling sensors and triggering pricey emissions. Repairs. Let it breathe the moment the pump cuts off. Remove the nozzle and walk away. Actionable takeaway. Avoid topping off. Preserve your evap system and save hundreds in downstream repairs. Tip number 4. Drain and fill your transmission fluid. When was the last time you actually handled your transmission fluid? Most drives slip by without a whirring, but ATF quietly breaks down mile after mile. In teardown inspections at 60K miles, we've found filters packed with clutch dust, metal shavings, and varnish, a vicious slurry acting like liquid sandpaper against your gears. But listen to this. Waiting for slip symptoms means you've already scored gear teeth and fried clutch packs, leading to rebuild bills from $3,000 to $7,500. One client skipped service and heard grinding by 50,000 miles. Actionable takeaway. Every 60,000 miles or 6 years, 90K for hybrids. Drain and fill with the precise OEM ATF every 6K or 6 years. Drain versus rebuild. Save thousands. As transmission guru Mike Turner notes, new fluid is your gearbox's lifeblood. Liquid sandpaper destroying gears. Tip number 5. Coast early to save brakes. I once saw a driver slam on the brakes so hard the rotors glowed at 200 degrees Fahrenheit like welding torches under the wheel. But that's not all. Those heat spikes warp rotors, glaze pads, and boil fluid, turning every panic stop into a $900 per axle repair. Quality pads like Abono or genuine OEM ones handle heat far better than cheap knockoffs. This approach not only cools your rotors, but also conserves brake fluid integrity, preventing moisture boil and costly ABS repairs. Actionable takeaway. Ease off the throttle early, coast into stops, and shift to a lower gear when descending hills. Engine braking keeps temperatures in check. Coast early and shift smart. Half-wear, double lifespan, stoplight, not finish line. As brake engineer Dr. Patel warns, consistent diesel is brake life insurance. TIP number 6. Flush coolant before it warps. Did you know modern aluminum heads begin warping at just 230 degrees Fahrenheit? In darker corners of overheated engines, stagnant coolant loses its rust inhibitors and forms corrosive pockets that eat through gaskets. Wrong formulas can damage water pumps and corrode passages in weeks. It gets worse when Tacoma driver ignored his temperature gauge for 8 minutes, then watched a $3,800 head gasket bill land on his desk. Actionable takeaway: flush your coolant every 3 to 5 years per manufacturer's specs. Use the exact fluid color designated for your engine, then check levels monthly and pressure test any low systems. 3 to 5 years or one heat spike. Flush. VS blown head gasket. Save thousands. Hot heads warp fast. As cooling system expert Dr. Nguyen observes, fresh coolant is your engine's lifeline. Tip number 7. Check for coolant leaks. Your cabin floor suddenly feels like Niagara Falls, coolant trickling from a hidden heater core breach. Cold start tests won't reveal it, and that disappearing fluid isn't evaporating, it's escaping through a cracked hose, radiator seam, or failing water pump. But listen to this. Tiny head gasket leaks can steam out your exhaust without a drop under the hood, silently starving your engine of protection. The reason this is happening: coolant only leaves the system if there's a breach. Actionable takeaway: monthly, with a cold engine, pressurize the cooling system to spec and watch for any pressure drop. Catch the silent killer before it strikes. Find leaks early. If these tips are already extending your ride, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Next up, secrets mechanics don't want you to know. Tip number 8. Dump the junk. Every extra 100 pounds in your SUV translates to 1,000 pounds of brake and suspension stress. Your shocks, springs, and bearings groan under the load. It gets worse when unevenly distributed cargo torques control arms and chews through tire shoulders. But that's not all. Passengers, tools, and gear all count toward your gross vehicle weight rating, and exceeding it invites premature wear. Actionable takeaway: check your GVWR sticker, subtract your curb weight, and keep payload below that limit travel light to travel far. Lighten the load. Tip number 9. Catch weird sounds early. A faint tick, clunk, or squeal isn't background noise, it's your car's SOS signal. The reason this is happening: even minor belt squeaks can morph into alternator failure, and a soft CV joint click can end with a snapped axle. But listen to this: low oil lifter ticks often precede full engine teardown, and brake caliper groans can precede warped rotors. Actionable takeaway: log the sound's location, timing, temperature, and driving conditions, then diagnose immediately. Early fixes run tens, late repairs cost thousands. Listen and act. Tip number 10. Stop riding the clutch. Resting your foot on the clutch pedal might feel harmless, but it's secretly incinerating your clutch plate with every mile. Even light pressure keeps the clutch partially engaged, generating heat and wearing down the friction disc and flywheel at a startling rate. The constant micro slippage at every stoplight wastes friction material as though you're sledding across gravel, and it all adds up. It gets worse at just 40,000 miles. Many drivers face a $1,500 clutch job because they never lifted their foot off the pedal. Actionable takeaway: keep your foot off the pedal unless shifting. Shift into neutral at stops, and use your handbrake on hills to triple clutch life. I've even replaced a 20,000-mile clutch that looked like a 100 k-mile clutch because of partial engagement. Hands off the pedal. Tip number 11. Follow the quarter tank rule. Running your tank near empty isn't just risking a roadside stranding, it's starving your fuel pump of its essential coolant and lubricant. When the pump sucks in air instead of gasoline, seals dry out, the motor overheats, and a $600 replacement looms sooner than you think. It gets worse. Low fuel stirs up sediment settled at the bottom of your tank, sending gunk through filters and injectors that can roughen idle and erode engine parts. Actionable takeaway: refill before dipping below a quarter tank to keep the pump submerged, prevent sediment ingestion, and extend fuel system life by tens of thousands of miles. In My shop. I've replaced pumps with under 80k miles because owners ran on fumes too often. Keep that needle above the line. Tip number 12. Upgrade to quality spark plugs. Underpowered sparks can literally destroy an engine from the inside out when worn plugs fail to ignite fuel efficiently. Electrodes erode down to stumps, causing misfires, coil overheating, piston melting, and even detonations that chew through catalytic converters. Cheap plugs from quick lube shops can bore carbon deposits that trigger catastrophic engine knock. But listen to this. Set and forget iridium plugs often degrade well before their 100k mile rating under real-world conditions, especially on direct injection engines prone to fouling. Actionable takeaway: begin inspecting plugs at 60,000 miles and fit premium GK Iridium X, Denso Iridium TT, or Bosch double iridium units to maintain optimal combustion and safeguard your engine. In one case, replacing worn plugs at 55k miles restored lost power and prevented a $2,200 engine teardown. Spark quality matters. Tip number 13. Do the engine mount death test. Every time you fire up and feel the dash slam like a jackhammer, that's a bad mount thundering metal on metal. In shop inspections, broken mounts have torqued axles, cracked manifolds, and bent brackets damage that spreads faster than you can diagnose. But that's not all. A single test can expose the hidden killer. Actionable takeaway: with your foot on the brake, shift to drive and gently rev to 2000 RPM. If the engine jumps more than 1 inch, replace the mounts immediately. One quick check versus thousands in drivetrain repairs. One morning I ignored a subtle thump until a split mount shattered my exhaust manifold. Don't let this happen to you. Tip number 14. Rinse the undercarriage. Washing only your paint is vanity. Skipping the underbody is vehicular suicide. In regions salted for winter, a single season can kickstart corrosion so severe you'll find holes you could poke with a screwdriver. It gets crazier when brake lines rust through mid-towing and fuel tanks weep on the road. Actionable takeaway: use a high-pressure hose or automated wash with undercarriage spray monthly in winter and at least every rainy week to blast away grime. Wash more or replace parts later. I once dropped a seemingly clean F-150 on the lift, only to discover crusty control arms ready to crumble. Clean bottom up, protect top down. Tip number 15. Question every urgent repair. You've sat across the desk from service writers coached to upsell $600 in must-do services you don't actually need. Dealership quotas drive fabricated. Brake fluid failures and spark plug gap warnings. It gets worse when trusting technicians pad your invoice to hit target slushed injectors on a new Corolla. Anyone? Actionable takeaway: whenever you're handed a shocking estimate, pause and get a second opinion from an independent or mobile mechanic. Ask for photos, part specs, and written justification. One extra call versus thousands in wasted repairs. I once fired a salesman on the spot for pushing a needless $400 fuel system flush. Verify before you buy. Tip number 16. Scrub battery terminals regularly. Silent corrosion at your battery posts can turn into a no-start nightmare, suffocating your starter and overworking your alternator. White fuzz accumulating every few months chokes current flow, leaving you stranded with a dead battery or costly electrical failures. But that's not all. Actionable takeaway: every 3 to 4 months, pop the hood, clean terminals with a baking soda, paste or terminal brush, then coat posts with dielectric grease. $5 and 10 minutes versus $900 starter replacement. Proactive maintenance. One customer almost paid for a new starter until a quick wire brush session saved the day. Tip number 17. Engage the e-brake when parking. Relying on park gear alone is like trusting a single nail to hold a house-tiny parking paw fingers lock. Your transmission, under a 3,500 pounds load, those pins can snap instantly, and it gets crazier. Rolling cars lead to $2,800 teardown bills. Actionable takeaway: always set the emergency brake before shifting into park. $0 effort versus $2,800 in repairs. Save your transmission. Across my career, 46 shattered parking pause could have been avoided with that one simple lever pull. You've just unlocked 17 power moves to stretch your engine beyond 700,000 miles. From the 3K oil rule and rapid on the road, warm-ups to ditching driveway idles, engaging your e-brake, and ultra-clean transmission swaps, you now hold the keys to avoid thousands in repair bills. These simple tweaks have kept my ride running strong when most cars call it quits. Next, protect your wallet. Click the video now to expose 13 mechanic scams predatory shops don't want you to know. Not professional advice, consult a qualified expert as needed.